better quality coal. So that's one stage where we're going to. The second would be, I see the capture of coal mine methane and transition into energy. I don't know how commercial that can be, but there are countries that are doing it, and it's something that needs to be explored. The third I've already hit on is the industry moving to be more inclusive and diverse in the workforce, and to have to look at the safety of that diverse workforce, not just from a physical perspective, but also a mental perspective. But to change and make a workforce diverse and inclusive, it needs a good hard shove in the back. It's not going to happen by itself. And I want to talk about a mine in Western Australia. It's a mine called South Flank in Western Australia. It's an iron ore mine. 40% of their front line are women. 60% of their senior executives are also women. And that is a benchmark, a global benchmark. How have they done that? They've done 5 things. One, they've set targets. They've set targets for every single manager to ensure they have a diverse workforce. They've innovated technology to make sure that it doesn't matter what your body shape or size is, you can use the mining technology that's in front of them. They've undertaken training, and I know, Kamal, you talked about building a washroom for women, and it's relatively easy to build a washroom. What isn't easy is to change the norms and stereotypes that people have. I'm a woman, I'm not petite and fragile. I can wield a wicked sledgehammer if you give that to me. I'd be happy to drill holes, I'd be happy to blow up stuff, I'd be happy to drive a big truck, and lots of women can do that and would do that as well. The fourth area is implementing mentors, and we all know, and I would imagine everyone in this room, man and woman, have been in an environment where you feel like the odd one out, and it can be unnerving, it can be a little bit terrifying, but you stand your ground and you push through. So having mentors that can help, give you that strength to push on. And the fifth is the one that I think is really something that will change if we can all implement it, and it's something called being an active bystander. So if you see somebody from a different gender being overlooked for a job, or if you see somebody from different cultural heritage being ousted from a particular environment, or if you see somebody with different sexual tendencies being humiliated, then rather than just standing back and doing nothing, you have an obligation to do something and stand up and say something. And it doesn't matter who you are, everyone can do that. I do that in my role. I'm the Trade Commissioner for Australia, focus on infrastructure, energy and resources. I talk at these things all the time, and I rarely have an audience as diverse as this. I'll walk in, might be 1 or 2 women in the audience, and my little thing I do for my active bystander is to go up and meet that woman and get their name. So when I stand up and introduce myself, it'll be good afternoon Nandini, good afternoon Dipali, and good afternoon gentlemen. And it's funny, you watch the men in the room, some of them, the hackles on their back go up, they don't like it very much. Some of them roll their eyes at me, and some of them smile and give me a bit of a wink, and I think that's my supporter, that's someone I'm going to get to know, because that's someone who knows the value of having a diverse workforce, and will be the person, one of the people that will help us achieve that globally. So,
yeah, thanks Dennis. Thank you very much. So I would like to first thank Kamal, because he has been the real sport amongst all of us. He's the only gentleman sitting with all the ladies here. Thank you very much. Thank you. And of course, Jayashree, Dennis and Aditi for the wonderful insight of what sustainable and safety approach can be towards the coal industry. So now I would like to take an opportunity to request the audience, if you have questions for our panelists, please kindly raise your hand and please. Have been answered? Okay, no, she has a question.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much, Sohini. I think you did a wonderful job as a moderator. Somebody needs to thank you.
Thank you.
And I would first of all like to acknowledge the power women behind women in mining in India, starting with, of course, Poonam and her colleague Ruchika. And we have Gulit very quietly standing there. Thank you so much for your effort. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, the team on the podium. You've done a wonderful job. Now my question. My question is to Jayashree. Since you run one of the biggest MDO companies, you must be having a policy for employing gender diverse or introducing gender diversity in your company. So do you think that this will help you, or do you think just having mining engineers will help you per se? Or you need engineering skills in a gender diverse atmosphere from, let's say, electrical, mechanical, geology, whatever, so that these teams can again work in cohesion and be comfortable with each other. So my question is, what kind of infrastructure do you think you need to set in place to achieve that kind of target?
Thank you, Nandi ma'am, for your question. This is, of course, a very sentimental question. You know, woman. So, woman has a man. If you spell WOMAN, it definitely has a man inside it. So, woman can perform all the things which a man can do. But sadly enough, no offense, man cannot do everything what a woman can do. So, this is the fact of life. And this is nature. This is by nature. So, ma'am, employment of women in in a say man-intensive industry, that is mining. Of course, see, DGMS also has come out with a lot of rules and regulations, and recently it has permitted women to work underground also. Now, the underground, in underground, the woman can, work during the day hours. Of course, night has not been allowed to them. Yes, of course, they have to be in a group of 3 and all that. But it is all subject to filling of certain parameters. They have laid down a SOP, and that's rigorous. Like providing them with very good infrastructure, providing them with washrooms, lit areas, there should not be dark, which may or may not be possible at the moment to, fulfill all the SOPs. But yes, of course, as we say, we are transiting. So definitely one after another, these things are going to come up. More than having technical skills, or say you have to be a mine engineer or a geologist to be in industry, it is not that. Definitely skills are there. We deploy unskilled laborers also. So women would definitely bring some emotional quotient in the industry, and things can go much better. Say for example, the men can buy vegetables, but it is the woman who cooks. So someone who's not well at home is majorly taken care of by the woman. So if this kind of emotional well-being comes into the industry, when employees feel at place where they feel belonged, so definitely it's going to come a long way if we have more women. Or if not more women, then of course, neutral, 50-50. So we can start with a 50-50, and then we have to coexist. So definitely we are looking forward to employ women, and we are ready to create infrastructure, because it's going to be a substantial project where we have to do a lot of, we have to take in a lot of people. So it is not going to be gender specific, but definitely it's going to be skill specific and the need basis. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. And
Thank you.
Sohini, would you like to add to that? Because I think you've been going underground, and what do you think are the challenges that you face that you would like to correct?
Okay, thank you, ma'am, for letting me answer this question. It's been 8 years that I have been going underground. I've been working with Komatsu Joy. So I was actually discussing with Rajni ma'am. I don't see this as a challenge. Rather, I enjoy the privilege of being a woman and going and talking to the men. And I was just explaining to her that initially there is a barrier, but once you break the barrier, I think that then there's no gender role that plays. It is like all of us together that works for a greater cause. Women are definitely highly acceptable when we actually show them what we can do, more than just like how women are portrayed in India. So I think we are there in breaking stereotypes. We are kind of achieving those targets. And I think given that portions, I think we will be way ahead of any of the men in the next line of time that we are going to have. Yes, I believe so.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And of course, you have a great mentor in Helen as well.
So I just want to add to what Shohini said. When I joined in Tata Steel 25 years back, for going washroom, I used to walk 1 kilometer because there was no concept of women washroom that point of time. So, in this entire 1,000 people in hot strip mill, I joined in hot strip mill where the coils are hot rolled. I was the only woman. And when I used to walk, people used to watch me like an alien going from where she has come. And people are very hesitant of even giving work. Talking and working together is a very new thing for them. But then it has changed a lot over time. Now you'll see everywhere we are there. In some of the departments, it's almost like 50% in Tata Steel. In some of the areas, we are trying to push more women because it has got almost 24/7 operation, and sometimes time becomes a constraint. I don't see any other constraint, but sometimes giving 24/7 time become a constraint. But now with technology, now that you can work from home, and there's a lot of operations that can take place from anywhere you are around. I can see a great path ahead for women in this kind of industry where it is dominated by men mostly. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. I would request Michelle if you can share a few words about our panelists and their insights that they have shared.
Thank you, Sohini. I won't trust you again when you say my job was finished. But look, I was looking forward to this panel, and I think you've put together an excellent panel today. I think each panelist has represented both their businesses but also their vision. And my takeaway today actually is about authenticity of your responses.